Hello, guys and gals, me Mudahar, and ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I do like to take a little bit of cue from my peers around me. Ladies and gentlemen, positivity is something that I feel like I've been sorely lacking in some videos. Okay, it almost feels like anything I talk about when it comes to the world of video gamings and computer viruses is negative. And you know what? A lot of it can be. Okay. All right, let me tell you about computer viruses. Getting infected ain't fun. I launched a virus that broke that computer back there, so I missed out on a day of Siege, but I think I got a banger video out of it, which will come sometime down this week, okay? North Korea, God bless you. But ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to video games, I know that I've been plenty negative, okay? I feel like games are weird, okay, in a lot of ways, because every month, it's like some brand new game comes out, and it's like the brand new whipping boy for the internet. And sometimes, a lot of that actually makes sense. Recently we had Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I feel like this game was one of those titles where it's like, you either had to love it a lot, or you had to hate the ever-living hell out of it, all because it was really the controversy people were talking about. And for me, gameplay was important, which I was glad in the video that I made reviewing the game before it came out. It did really well, and I feel like I just really got to have fun talking about a video game for its merits, okay? So anyways, there's a lot of good video games that come out, and I really don't talk about them much because generally speaking, the bad video games kind of take a lot of the attention. Now, I have stopped playing Assassin's Creed Shadows 15 hours into it just because, I found it to be repetitive. I found it to be boring after a while, and I have a new rule for video games, okay? If I'm not having fun, I just stop playing it and move on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to shout out this merch drop of ours. It's less than 8 hours before it goes into the void, but this is a great way to support the channel. You get an amazing hoodie or a coffee mug, or the option of getting both if you like, ladies and gentlemen. We've already almost completely gone out of this. It's a limited time drop, ladies and gentlemen, meaning that once it's gone forever, ladies and gents. So again, if you want to get yourself a physical machine hoodie, you want to get something with, again, a good glow-in-the-dark pattern, a little bit of me locked in my own machines, good old-fashioned Linux glossaries on your sleeves, stuff that I'm really proud of. I want to keep doing more of this stuff, and again, it does really help the channel out. So again, there are videos like deep web browsing, which could get age restricted, and again, that does not do well in the algorithm, and of course, if you want more of that content, you want to show it some support, this is a great way to get something in return and help out the channel. And of course, beyond all of it, there's other videos that do get demonetized, like surprisingly, that Pyramids in Giza video got hit. I don't know why. Somehow it got hit up, ladies and gentlemen, but if you want to help support the channel and want more content like that, this is a great way to support it. That said, let's get back to the video. Now, granted, that game looks pretty and everything, but there is a lot of positive stuff to look at with video games. So I stopped playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I picked Xenoblade Chronicles X up. Now, I haven't touched my Switch for quite a while, okay? I probably haven't really dug out the actual Switch and played it in my hand since Metroid Dread, but this game, ladies and gentlemen, God damn, did they make a pretty-ass JRPG. Now, I actually had this all the way back in the Wii U. In fact, let me dig out that. Yeah, this is how old the game is, boyos. It's from the Wii U. Now, some of you probably don't know what a Wii U is because you're a little too young, but this is an old game, really old. And yeah, they recently reported it for the Switch, so I was like, all right, you know what? I barely got to the end of this game just because the Wii U was an interesting console, but God damn it, I wasn't that super duper into it. It just came out at a weird time. But anyways, I ended up picking this game up on the Switch, and let me tell you, massive open world, a storyline that absolutely has me very gripped, and we're talking about tons of content, okay? We're talking about tons of side stories. We're talking about tons of fights. We're talking about tons of interesting things to go out and do. I honestly thought playing this game, the first 5-6 hours of it overwhelmed the shit out of me. And I honestly thought that I was probably going to put it away because anytime a game overwhelms me with 10 or 15 different things, literally in the first hour and a half of this game, they throw you with this option where it's you got to pick between 8 or 9 different classes, and immediately my brain's going every direction. But I stuck with it, and honestly, after 10 hours, it starts to really just click with you, and you're just basically engrossed in another Xenoblade game. And mind you, I've really given this game another chance because I was basically playing a lot of those Xenoblade Chronicle games on the Nintendo Switch, and I'll be real, I think Monolith Soft is like an absolute like magic maker. They have produced some of the best titles ever released on the Nintendo Switch, and I honestly feel like they're probably one of the most underrated developers from Nintendo. Like the fact that Legend of Zelda, which produces amazing games, mind you, absolutely amazing titles, you know, they get a lot of praise. Pokemon's Game Freak, they get a lot of praise out of nowhere, and I feel like Pokemon produces some of the biggest fucking dog shit out of nowhere in modern Nintendo gaming, but they get by with it because honestly the Nintendo community really could not be fucked to ask for higher standards. So it really is how it is. But you got Monolith Soft, who are absolutely doing wonders with like Nintendo Switch hardware. The fact that this game looks as good as it does on an actual Nintendo Switch, a NVIDIA Tegra chipset that was outdated the day the Nintendo Switch launched, is impressive stuff. And it shows me that, like, maybe I should go back to the Wii U, because goddamn, we were cooking with gas in that era of video gaming. But you know what? I played a lot of this, and I was like, man, you know what? This is a pretty good release for modern gaming. And then I remembered, oh shit, this is a remaster. Ooh, what about actual games that are released in the big year 2025? So this year, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 came out, which also had its own tier of controversy alongside it. But I really couldn't understand most of the controversy, mostly because I had the entire game completely engrossing me the whole time. And I realized very quickly after playing like the first game that after like, again, 4 hours of playing the first title, when that game clicked with me, it changed everything. You do one side quest in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 or 2, and the level of open-endedness, the level of like immersion that you get out of that franchise is enough to convert any non-believer to video gaming, okay? I mean, these are literally what video games are made for, which is entering a brand new world and living within it, okay? Much like watching a movie or watching like a TV show, you're kind of viewed with a carefully crafted lens. But like with a video game, like engrossing yourself in a world where you just jump into it and experience it, basically you do an actual like storyline, but you're living a life in another world. And if you can make the life aspect of it immersive and fun as well alongside the main story, it's just a super unique way, which like you could convince anybody that hasn't touched a video game that if you want to experience the joy of fun video games, this is pretty much where you're at, all right? Now let's get the real elephant out of the room. Obviously, I am excited that Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out, okay? Very excited. In fact, there's some really good news about this that literally a few days ago, the CEO of Take-Two, Strauss Zelnick, who basically got to talk with one of these business sites, I think it was Bloomberg, and he basically just straight up said, guys, we're going to advertise GTA 6 closer to its release. Now, Grand Theft Auto is just one of those franchises where it's like the amount of blow up that it's had is insane, okay? It used to be like, you know, PlayStation 2 came around, Rockstar was pimping out a game every year. And it wasn't all just Grand Theft Auto. You got shit like Midnight Club, you got stuff like Manhunt, you had stuff like Red Dead Revolver, you had tons of games, Bully even. Nowadays, Rockstar, you're lucky to get one game a generation. However, it's kind of bullshit to say it. Obviously, Rockstar produces games very sporadically, but I would say that for the games that they do produce, and again, we only have two examples, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, I would say pretty much with overwhelming support that those are two of the most immersive and well-made single-player experiences from Rockstar that they have probably produced in their entire history, in my opinion. So I really don't have any doubt that when GTA 6 drops towards the tail end of this year, hopefully, it's actually going to be a pretty interesting game. I am looking forward to playing the single player of that game, hopefully streaming it day one, hopefully talking about it after I finish it, and just basically enjoying that game when it drops. So what's interesting about it is, like, they won't talk about GTA 6 until, like, months before its launch, I guess, which kind of scares other developers around that era from actually giving a release date, because if you, God forbid, have the same release date as Grand Theft Auto 6, your game is astronomically fucked. It's kind of like the Horizon curse. Like, if you ever look at the Horizon franchise, like, every mainline release they have usually is on, like, the same week or weekend as like a major Legend of Zelda release. So it's like some developers and publishers just cannot catch a break. So obviously with GTA 6 around the corner, you might be like, Muda, is that like all you're excited for? No, actually, surprisingly speaking, it's not my most anticipated game of the year. Speaking of positivity, the most positive game that I'm looking forward to right now is Death Stranding 2. Now, I'm sure some of you all have seen the actual trailer for this game, but I'm just going to straight up say it. Death Stranding was one of my favorite games from like last generation. It came out a couple of years ago, a few years ago at this point, and I absolutely got so enamored that I ended up platinuming the game, meaning I did every single thing. Now, granted, some of you will watch this and be like, Mood is not a real gamer. He's a fucking Amazon Prime delivery driver. And if you dare say that Death Stranding is just a delivery simulator, that means you, my friend, haven't actually played the game. Because any game where deliveries involve dodging supernatural apparitions, fucking terrorists, goddamn delivery hijackers, and the world's elements without actually thinking it all the way through is not just your average game. It's a game that has an absolute vibe and aesthetic and a story that I completely enjoy. And any time that I saw the Death Stranding 2 trailer that came out literally like a couple weeks ago, if that got me fucking excited, okay? This game is looking like a champ. In fact, it's so good that Hideo Kojima is, in my opinion, risking a fucking copyright lawsuit with Konami by putting in goddamn Metal Gear lookalikes in this entire franchise. But you know what? Speaking of Konami, there's also MGS3 Delta that's coming out too, which again, Metal Gear Solid 3 is not my personal favorite Metal Gear game, but the more and more I look about Metal Gear Solid 3, the more and more I realize, god damn, is this a pretty looking remake. And while it's pretty faithful, and again, remakes are remakes, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have your own standard parts to it, like, why am I so excited about a goddamn remake, Mood? I've already played these games. I think for a lot of new gamers who have never played the beauty of Metal Gear Solid 3, it's probably going to be a fun way for everyone to get by and experience one of the best stealth action games revitalized for that modern generation. And you know what? Konami's also got Silent Hill F, which I think looks pretty goddamn amazing in my personal opinion. And as much as I want to talk more about Silent Hill, the thing about all of this recent gaming, and especially the Silent Hill 2 remake that got released like last year, I have been so into the entirety of playing more games from Konami, especially in that Silent Hill genre, which I never really got into. I never really played much of the Silent Hill stuff as much as I really should have, or compared to Resident Evil. And I feel like I'm opening up a can of gaming that I've just never looked at. It's so fun to open up an amazing franchise that you've never played before and experience it for the first time. And even from like game preservation perspectives, guys, this year, for anybody that didn't know, Silent Hill 4 recently just got thrown into the good old games preservation program. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what this program is, it's like a medic from Battlefield rushing up to your fucking asshole and sticking the defibs right up your cheeks just to bring you back to life. These games are so old that every single developer and most gamers have forgotten about them. But not GOG. No. They ended up selling this game for like 8 buckaroonies Canadian, which is probably like 24 cents US, so pick it up while the offer lasts. But not only have they preserved the game, but they've actually re-injected old content, unchecked content that was never there before, into the actual game. So not only do you get to pick up these older games this year, but you actually get to come at them with content that probably should have been there at release. You're getting definitive versions of the games at bargain bin prices. And you know what? Under other remasters, one of my favorite games, I think a year or two ago, was System Shock Remake. That game was so good, all right, that I actually ended up playing it all the way through in one sitting, which is not something that I enjoy, okay? I told my wife that, the System Shock game came out, I'm going to play it for a little bit. Bro, the next message I sent her was when I was sticking a gun up Shodan's asshole, winning the game at the end, several hours into it. It's been a while since I've absolutely nerded out over a video game, and it had to be over the System Shock Remake. Brilliant title produced by the friends over at Night Dive. But not only is it so good that they've actually been remastering System Shock 2. And while it's not as bombastic as System Shock 1, there is a beauty to the fact that, again, a game this old is being revitalized. Granted, it's a little pricey, $38, but you know, at the end of all this game is preserved, meaning that I can play it on my modern computer, and especially things like the fucking Steam Deck, which honestly has been such a positive fresh of breath air for modern video games for me that honestly, it feels like every month that I've been looking down into this list, there's always one game that I'm looking forward to each month, which is not something that I feel like I could say about like previous years. I feel like 2025 is the one year where like every single game that I'm looking at for 2025, every month, there's something to get excited for. And not only get excited for, but there's entirely new systems like the Nintendo Switch popping up, Switch 2, which as much as I played shit like the Steam Deck, I am absolutely excited to get my hands on an even more powerful handheld system, just because I feel like that's where most of my actual gaming is coming out to. And as far as news regarding modern gaming and a lot of these companies getting sticks shoved up their asses when they need to, I recently found out that the European Union, I don't live in this country, but they introduced new sets of rules that are focusing on the shittiest microtransactions in the world. For instance, I love playing games like Rainbow Six Siege. I'm excited for Siege X, okay? Again, another game I am super excited and positive for. And one of the things about Rainbow Six, like many live service games, is the storefront, okay? So alongside having a multiplayer experience, you get the experience of going to the store and looking at window shopping experiences, right? And the thing with Rainbow Six, like most games, is that they have these packs that are always priced in these like weird numbers, right? So, ooh, this gun skin is 900 siege points. Ooh, this is 1200. Oh, that's 3300. Now you might be wondering, okay, what's so bad about that? Well, the reason why a lot of these companies price it this way is two reasons. A, psychologically, if you don't see the actual value, like $20, $30, it doesn't psychologically hit you that hard, right? You don't tend to notice how much you're actually spending. And sometimes, for instance, they'll do scummy shit like they'll price a skin at like, I don't know, 1,400 points, but they only sell a pack that's either 800 points or 1,800 points. So you have to overspend to get a certain pack in the game, meaning that you're always giving these guys like an extra few bucks for really no reason. And yeah, that's why a lot of developers do it. So the European Union has like a few new principles, and this is a good thing coming. For instance, prices for in-game items must be clear and transparent, which is true, especially if you're a kid. You know, a kid like me didn't know that 1,600 Microsoft points was actually $20. I just wanted to go into all those fucking clan tryouts and actually get somewhere. Hiding the true cost of items through obscure virtual currency systems. Yes, it should be avoided. Thank you, Europe. Players shouldn't be forced into buying more than they need. Yes, this ain't the motherfucking bulk barn, dude. We should be able to get the exact quantity we want. Actually, wait, that is what the bulk barn is for, goddamn. All key purchases should be disclosed before any transaction. Yes, transparency is what God needs in the world of online gaming. Players must retain their legal right, including the right to withdraw from a purchase. Contracts should be fair and written in simple, clear languages. Game design should consider and respect vulnerable users, including children. You know, a lot of people who play shit like sports games nowadays, which I never understood the point of a sports game. Like, dog, if I'm gonna play NBA, I might as well just grab a fucking ball and go outside and play it in a court. Why the fuck would you be rotting away playing a video game that you could just easily replicate in reality? You know why I play Death Stranding 2 and Grand Theft Auto? You know why I play Grand Theft Auto Online? Because I can't commit grand larceny in real life. I mean, I could, okay? But then I'm going away to jail for a while. All right, probably dodging Bubba in prison showers. Not exactly a fun experience. But yeah, that's why I play games like Grand Theft Auto, so I can commit crimes, kill people. Actually, that came out really wrong. Traffic firearms, dope, everything imaginable in experiences like GTA. In fact, if I want to run guns and sell dope, there's games like Schedule 1 that are already out. Now, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to be positive for, and honestly, for as much as negative gaming has really kind of taken over a lot of the discourse on the internet, I feel like it's fun to kind of remind the world that there's a lot of positive in video games, and 2025 seems like it's about to be one of the best years, in my opinion, for video games, okay? There's a lot of stuff that I haven't even listed off to begin with. Games like Ghosts of Yotai. Again, there's tons of cool stuff that's coming out. Metroid Prime 4, ladies and gentlemen, a game that we have been waiting for quite a long time, okay? Since the fucking Wii U days, is finally about to rear its head in. And again, I could probably explain to you guys how excited I really am, but I feel like this video was meant for me to rather show you what my level of excitement comes into. It's easy for me to be negative about a video game, but I feel like there's videos like this that need to exist that, you know, probably don't do as well because honestly, like, I don't think positivity necessarily outweighs the negativity, at least in gaming discourse, but it's fun to sort of bring people back and sort of bring up that hype level a little bit. I know that I come across as like a total soy jack consumer right now, but in reality, there's a lot of positivity in gaming that I'm actually enjoying, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to, and I just wanted to kind of talk about it because I feel like when it comes to gaming, all right, there's a lot to look forward to, okay? Like a lot to look forward to. Just like there's a lot of negative shit out there, there's so much cool stuff happening in gaming that it's almost a disservice to the audience not to ever discuss it. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it, I am out.